All right, so it says we're live. Just want to welcome everybody to the ScrappyDew live show. Of course, I'm Rob with ScrappyDew, and I'm joined by three other people right now. Maybe Julie will come in later as a guest. Right now, we are trying to get in contact with her, but we are going to go on with the show. But I'm going to let Chris introduce himself real quick. So go ahead, Christopher.
Hi everyone, my name is Christopher and I own Christopher Allen Designs. You can find me at the YouTube channel that's listed right down below under my name. And you can also find me at ChristopherADesigns.com.
All right, and you just got finished doing two videos.
I did.
You're doing a Halloween series. I saw 1 and 2. 3's coming along.
3 is there. The thing is, they're all completed. I actually threw in the last one using the embossing pens because I had a lot of questions once I posted that picture. So the embossing pens was going to come much later, but I decided to make a Halloween themed video using the embossing pens, and that's why that one got slipped in. But the next one that you will see is the letters that you can purchase at a craft store. They're like the brown bag letters, kind of, I guess. They're like paper mache, and I use the Cuttlebug to show how to put different papers and stuff on those. And then we have a lampshade tutorial, and then the last one is the big wreath that you can use scrapbook papers to create the curls. But you'll see them also. They're all coming out.
Gotcha. Now, do you have those sample cards so that people can see what you can do with video 1 and video 2?
Yes. With video 1, I do not know where. Oh, here. I think, nope, this isn't it.
It's like you just had them.
The video bag that's here, but in video 1 I teach you how to create a trick-or-treat bag. But in video 2 I teach you, these are the cards that you're able to make. I essentially wanted to figure out a way to create a rubber stamp, a large rubber stamp image, because obviously rubber stamps that would be this size are very expensive, and you can actually use the Ranger Perfect pen or Perfect Medium pen, and you can, it's the exact same thing. I think we talked last week, like the American Craft markers, and you put it right into your Explore pen port, and it's a very odd, I guess, medium, you could say, because the rollers, whenever I first tried this project out, I thought that the rollers were going to go over the pen, and it was going to streak, and it was going to move, but there's something about whatever that is that's inside of the pen that's very similar to the Versamark ink pad, that it just stays put. I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but it's absolutely fantastic for using wingdings and other images to create large rubber stamps and backgrounds for nothing.
All right. Yeah, so check out those videos, and we'll continue on with the series of the Halloween. Next is Michelle Mybell. Go ahead, Michelle.
Good evening, everyone. I am Michelle, and I have a blog at MichelleMybellCreations.com.
All right, and next is Ken Kreations. Hold on, let me adjust this tone here up here. I think you look a little tan. You know.
Yes. It was very hard to come back from Maui, but I knew I had fans waiting for me in this hangout, so I rushed back. No, it was the best vacation I've ever. Anyone who's been to Hawaii can probably relate that it's really hard to leave there and come back. So it was probably one of the hardest vacations I've ever left, but I will definitely be going back again.
Now, even though you were on vacation, I noticed that you're updating your blogs with projects and stuff. Were you exploring underwater?
I was, yeah. No, I did update my projects, and I stayed on top of the blog and stuff because I just want to make sure people were getting information. But I did not take. I heard saltwater might hurt some parts of the Explorer, so I did not venture out. But it works great in the pool. In the pool, it works.
Okay, that must be the chlorine. All right.
It is.
So, like I said, welcome everybody. This is a live show, which means that you guys can participate. If you're watching this on YouTube a little later, it is recorded. So feel free to ask your questions. You can just type them down below if you're watching on YouTube or in the live event page. Just type it down there below, and we'll get to it. We can actually show it up here on the screen. Of course, we can't do that if it's on YouTube and a recorded station here. Now there is about a 30-second delay, 30 to 60-second delay. So if you type in something and we've moved on to a new subject, and you wonder why we didn't bring your question up, it's not because we're ignoring it on purpose because we haven't seen it yet. Okay, so keep that in mind. There is a little delay between what you guys see and what we are actually talking about. All right, so first, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the SVG Library because I was able to get it on the Mac App Store, and I'll show you that real quick. So if you guys are on a Mac and you like going through the Mac App Store, I'll show you how you can do that real quick. Let me go ahead and screen share. Go ahead and share this right here. And if you go to dash12.com/SVG Library, you'll come down here where it says Purchase from the App Store. You click that, and if you're on a Mac, you're familiar with viewing the Mac App Store, and you can purchase it that way. It is 1 penny cheaper, so you can use that as a little discount, right? So you save a penny, and if you do end up purchasing it, make sure you leave a review after you have purchased it, as it lets other people know whether or not it's a good product or not. Okay. Now some other things, little admin stuff. Working on the ScrappyDew website here, and under if you go over here to Video Library, Live Events, if you'd like to be notified whenever we have these live events, make sure you sign up for these newsletters. We'll let you know usually a day prior to what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be covering, and we'll shoot out that email, and then we'll send you a 20-minute reminder email, 10 to 20 minutes before we actually go live. Okay, so that's how some people like to be notified. The other thing that we're in the process of creating, of course, is the ScrappyDew Live Archives. We've been doing this, I believe it's maybe since April, and so we have, I think this is our 22nd ScrappyDew Live event, and as you can see, I'm only on episode 7, but Michelle has actually time-stamped all of these. So if you like the topic that we're talking about here, you can go ahead and okay, I'm going to go to the 25-minute 05 because that's when we were talking about this. Okay, so she has done that, as well as we got the host here. You get if you click on the host, you'll go to their YouTube page, so that way you can go ahead and sign up and subscribe to the host if you like the videos, So that's what we're working with now. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and talk about some news. Okay, so we got Cricut news, but I think probably the #1 news is Michelle. I think you got a new cutter. Are you there, Michelle?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
All right, so you got a new cutter. What cutter did you get?
I got the Cricut Explorer.
Oh man,
the purple one.
Oh man, so you got the purple one. I heard that that's probably, did it sell out or something?
Yes, it did. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think Ken was talking about earlier that it was, he wishes he would have bought one so he can sell it on eBay, because how much are they going for on eBay, Ken? Are you there, Ken?
Yeah, how much are they going for?
I was the last time I saw there was someone that had one on there. Buy it now price I think was $499.99, so $500. So it's crazy. They sold, I believe, in the short time they were on, they sold 10,000 machines, which is just absolutely crazy, because if you think about it, at launch of the original Cricut Explorer, they had 5,000 and another 5,000. So to me, it's crazy, because at first I thought it was just a color. It was like just a purple, and now that I can't have it, I want it.
And Michelle, you were telling me that they sold out of it so fast that they actually had to email people saying that we can't go through with your order. Is that
yes?
That right?
Some of the orders are being canceled. Some of them haven't gotten their shipments. I don't know if they're supposed to come back in stock. I think November 12th. Is that correct, Ken? Somewhere around there.
Correct. Yeah, I think they were. I mean, I think they were anticipating it to sell, but I don't think that they realized how many of them they would sell because of just a purple color. But people went crazy, and I don't know why purple. They must have had some studies showing purple was the color to go with, because people went crazy for the purple.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation about that. That I think we talked about that in the last hangout, or we talked about that somewhere where. They believe that they are following the handle colors.
Yeah, that was Michelle. She came up with this theory that they're following the tools. So
following the tools, because that is the color of the new Cricut is the exact color of that purple I can't remember which tool. Oh, it's the tweezers.
Yeah, it's the tweezers that matches, yeah.
And they're I mean, that is literally
Well,
the
and
exact
it's
color.
funny because everyone in the Facebook groups are saying, "Well, I'm going to wait for the teal one to come out, or I'm going to
Yeah.
wait for the gold one." The people are already anticipating they're going to be releasing all the colors.
Oh.
I don't know why someone would want every machine, every color, but hey, I know that some people bought the purple one just to have the purple one. So
I know I do.
Well, it does look like Julie joined us, so we'll take a quick pause on the Cricut news, and I'll know. Julie, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, good. It took me a long time to figure out how to get in.
Oh yeah, no worries. We understand you're still running Windows XP, so it's okay.
Oh no, I'm on 8.1. That's why I can't figure it out.
Oh man, yes. Yeah. So let me introduce Julie real quick. She's very knowledgeable. How many machines do you have now? 14? 14 machines?
Oh yeah, 13 I think.
13. Okay.
Yeah.
So lots of machines, wealth of knowledge. She has a Yahoo group, MTC Tuts. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, MTC Tuts, and it's in the description. So if you're watching this on YouTube or even the event, if you go over and check out the description, I have her Yahoo group link. So a lot of knowledge in that, as well as she's going to be talking about Make the Cut. I have her Make the Cut link in there if you're interested in knowing more about Make the Cut as well. So we're going to go back into some Cricut news. So Michelle thinks that the new colors are going to follow the tools. So I think that sounds like it probably will come true. And let's see what else we got. Some more Cricut news. Ken, I noticed on your blog you're blogging about some sort of app. So
yes.
What's this app, and how's it different than the one that we already have?
Yeah, we were fortunate, myself and Christopher were fortunate to be on a hangout with Cricut, giving us news. So we just found out, too, that they are going to be releasing a new app. So this is different than the Make It Now app. Currently, Cricut has an app that gives you the ability to do Make It Now projects right now. So you're able to log in and go to the Make It Now projects and have some customization of those, and then go ahead and cut it from your iPad. However, they're going to be releasing a new app that is going to give us full design capabilities, start a new project, open projects, save projects, and still cut from the iPad app. So it's really exciting. We got myself and Christopher got some access to it, so we're playing around with it right now. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Sorry, I got a quick question. Is the app, is it for iPad 1, iPad 2? What kind of iPad do I need?
So right now it is for the iPad 2 generation and later. So it's not going to work on those first generation iPads, and it is also right now just for that Apple products. Right now, I do not believe they've in the first app are planning on releasing an Android app at launch. So it's only going to be on Apple iPad 2 and later, and I'm not sure, but I believe it is not also going to be supported on the iPad mini. So it's just going to be iPad 2, iPad Air with the correct, you have to make sure you have the software, which I think it needs 7.1 software and later, I believe.
Gotcha. All right. Anything else new in Cricut news? I can't.
The other news, they've been releasing some cartridges. The new Anna Griffin Christmas, I believe it's called, pronounced Kirsch, came out, and it's actually a really cool cartridge. They just released a Lyrical Letter 2 cartridge today, so they're releasing a lot of new little cartridge projects. But I can let you know I'm really, really excited about the app, and that's the big news. Is this app is, in my opinion, from what I played around with, is going to give people a lot of freedom, and it's bringing a lot of new features that we did not have in the regular design space currently. So the app is absolutely beautiful, fast, and amazing. People are going to love it.
Is internet connection, do we still need internet connection in order to use this app?
For right now, yes.
Okay. Gotcha. And does it communicate with the cutter via the Bluetooth, or does it communicate via the Wi-Fi that's in your house?
Both. So
Okay.
you're able to open and save projects, and it saves it to the cloud, and it's instant. So when I save a project on my iPad app, I literally went in within seconds to check on Design Space, and it's already updated. So you do not need the Bluetooth adapter to use this technology. However, if you want to cut straight from the app to your cutter, that's when you need the Bluetooth. So anyone can use this if they have that Apple iPad 2 or later. However, they do not need the Bluetooth if they're just going to save it to the cloud and then go back onto their computer to cut it.
All right. All right. So other cutting news. We got the new. I don't know what they're calling it. Is it just going to be the new Cameo? The Cameo 2?
I believe they're just calling it the new, all in bold and caps, Silhouette Cameo.
Gotcha. So I'm going to screen share here, and we're going to take a look at this now. If you guys have already seen this stuff, feel free to post your comments down below and let us know. Do you think it's worth an up? Is this more of an upgrade? Is it an update? Is it for someone that? I mean, are you going to go out and purchase this if you already own a Cameo? Let me screen share real quick, and Ken or Chris, that we can go through this real quick, and Michelle too. We'll take a look. Let me find this. All right, so this is on their Silhouette America page. This is the PDF, and it's supposed to give you a brief overview of every single thing that's new. So right off the bat, we see the new touchscreen. So we got a new touchscreen, and then we'll go down here. As you can see, new digital display, and we have these spring rollers. So what are these spring rollers supposed to do for us?
I was reading about it, and I'm not sure exactly what the difference is. I think that it really is honestly just easier to move them. From what I read. Ken, did you read anything additional about it?
From what I've heard, because I believe these spring rollers are in the portrait, and I could be confused, but I believe they are on the portrait already, and they provide a tighter grip on your paper. So the mat's not going to have as much ability to move in the Cameo. I never had a problem with that with my Cameo, but it's a stronger, it's basically a stronger material to give better control to the machine.
I see. Now, Michelle, you said are these springs in the portrait already?
I'm just unmuted. The portrait has if you look at the way the rollers are, they're like a coil. On the portrait, they're more solid.
Okay.
So I think this is new technology just for the Cameo.
Gotcha. All right. So then we also have this cross cutter. So what's this cross cutter supposed to do for us?
So that's for people that use heat transfer vinyl and it's not on a mat, and it's going to give the ability to cut out items, and then once you're done, you're able to use the cross cutter in the back of the machine to cut off that material. So right now, if you put a whole roll of material on and it's done, you have to still cut it with either your cutting or scissors or something like that, or you have to determine what size of vinyl or heat transfer you need. This way, if you auto feed it into your machine now, you're going to have that cross cutter in the back to where once it's done, you can just cross cut it, and it's basically going to save material, make it easier for you to give the ability to just cut it where you need it once it's done.
All right. So then we also have the new mark guides. Are these the same mark guides that are in the what's that one called? Michelle, you know what I'm talking about? Are these the same guides? Do they look?
Oh, and the portrait? No, these are strictly new for the new Cameo.
Okay.
They just have the little guides to the right. That's what you'll see on the portrait.
Yeah, and the guide on the old Cameo is very light, faint line. It's very hard to see. It looks like it's just one of the other lines. Like you can see where your mouse is right now, there's that big, long, raised edge there. It looks just like that on the Cameo. So a lot of people complain that it's hard to see. So they've definitely made it very visual to where your mat should line up.
All right. And then we have the new USB port drive. It looks like it's on the right-hand side, so you can stick a thumbstick on there, and I guess you don't need a computer in order to cut with this thing.
That is correct. You can, if you have a USB drive, you'll be able to connect it to the or connected to the machine without using your computer to cut. You'd still need your computer to save it onto the USB drive, but
Yes.
that's just
Yeah, so I guess maybe if you're just going to a quick crop, you got all your stuff on a thumbstick, just slide it in there and let it go. All right, so we got the new USB port, and then got a little fancy storage compartment that makes anyone worth the upgrade, and then new sleep mode. I guess saves you time from unplugging and turning it off, and I don't think there's anything more with this. It says the pick scan technology, but I think that's available for the Cameo and the Portrait as well. And then you get a lightweight portable bag, and I think that's it. Just roll with it. I'm assuming it comes with this roller. Is that new?
I think that's additional, isn't it?
It's additional, yeah.
Okay.
So the roller was released about the same time all of the pig scan technology came in, and it's for people, once again, that do a lot with vinyl and don't want to cut off their vinyl. They can just auto-feed it into the machine, and now with that cross-cutter in the back, it's just making it that much easier, because I think vinyl is a big use for the Silhouette.
I see. And it comes with some, I thought I saw some design. It gave you a month of design store. I don't know. I forgot the reading. But yeah, so we got that, and that's basically about it, right? So do you guys think that it's worth an update and an upgrade?
So what I'm excited about is something very simple. I'm really excited that they finally have German carbide tipped blades. I go through Silhouette blades like no tomorrow. When I did a lot with the Silhouette, the blades, in my opinion, I went through a lot. So I was really excited. However, I'll be honest, I was disappointed it didn't have more of additional features or new exciting technology. To me, it seemed a lot like it's just kind of a cosmetic upgrade. And I also noticed on Silhouette, you are not able to buy the first Cameo. If you go to Silhouette, they've replaced it with this machine. So this is your only option if you want the Cameo. So to me, it's not really a new machine. It's just a replacement of an old machine. It's kind of the newer model. It's going from an Apple 5 to an Apple 5S. That's what I compared it to. It's kind of, they just added some additional,
cosmetic features.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. You'd think with an upgrade or update, maybe, I was reading some comments. People were wanting to have the pressure increase so they can cut thicker material. People were maybe wanting the optic sensor to be improved. So it does look like what.
Well, and I guess I'm disappointed in the fact too. I was really hoping for an app, an Apple iPad app or an Android app to come with it. A lot of people were hoping for it to be a Wi-Fi machine where they wouldn't have to use cords anymore. So I just don't know if it delivered a lot of the features that a lot of the Silhouette lovers were looking for.
Yeah,
Ken, do you know if there's a light on it?
I don't believe there's not one on the first Cameo, and I don't see anything in the upgrade of having a new light. There's nothing about it adding a new light. The big thing that they hit home was it has that full LCD touchscreen, but the touchscreen is really just for navigation to load it and unload it. So,
it reminds me of when we had the Expression 2, and we could actually use that to cut. You can't use that screen, and I wondered why they were kind of dumbing down the screen. They weren't really. You would think that would be something that would be huge for the machine, and it's something that they just quickly skipped over. Like, we have the touch screen, but all you can do is load the mat.
Yeah, and I guess I was confused too on the sleep mode. I didn't know that was a anticipated item. I guess I've never sat at either machine and said, I hope my machine can fall asleep on its own if I'm not here. So I guess I'm just confused on the reason why they added the features they did and why other features weren't added. But they must have had their reasons for doing it.
Reminds me sort of like they're still trying to do the Cameo, but then they're trying to slip in a brother scan and cut, with that USB stick on the side. Trace of Luck, she says, she's like, I don't think it's worth upgrading. She's like, I want to be upgrading. No, I'm just joking. I won't be upgrading is what she meant. Pam Connor, she says that you can find the old Cameo at many sites for $229. How much is the Cameo right now? I think this new Cameo ships, is it October 22nd? I think
correct, yeah. You can pre-order it now, but it's not going to ship out to the 22nd.
Yeah, and how much is it?
$299.
$299. Okay,
Yeah.
So if you're still looking for the old Cameo, you got one for $229, or you can get the new one, $299. Sue Webb, she's like, nothing I'd be buying. I would consider an Explorer or a View. And I think that's it on the comments that I can see right now, unless you see any, Ken.
No, I was just excited. Handmade Cards announced that they are also announced new iPads today, and sure enough, I went to Apple and I didn't know that, so that's really exciting.
Yeah,
I'm an Apple junkie.
Yeah, I think they had a little keynote today, and iPad Air 2 is what they're calling it.
Kind of like the new Silhouette Cameo.
Yes. All right. Now, Julie, like I said, if you guys have questions, feel free to post them down below. If not, unless you had anything else for the Silhouette news, Ken or Chris, feel free.
I don't. I've been watching a lot of comments in the Silhouette groups, and it's interesting because a lot of people, I think, were waiting for this machine. A lot of people that were on the fence of, do I go with the Explorer, do I go with the View, do I go with the Silhouette Cameo, and a lot of people are saying, well, wait, Silhouette's coming out with a new machine, wait. And now that they have, and they've shown these features, I think a lot of people are just not sure if it's worth the upgrade. They were expecting more, so there's a little bit of disappointment in the air, I think.
Yeah, Vicky Woody here, she says, she's like, I upgraded to the new Explorer, the purple one, just like Michelle has, and I love the Cameo, but I won't be upgrading. So yeah, maybe it's more of an update than an upgrade.
Yeah.
And everyone's getting this purple one, so I guess she was one of the lucky ones.
I guess it's I read someone posted a link. I don't know who it was. Oh, I think it was that's I guess the new trend in color. Kay Hall said it's the new color of the year is Radiant or Orchid.
Oh yeah, yes, I see that one right here.
So next week I expect all of us to be wearing Radiant Orchid shirts.
It is the new blue. All right. Yeah, so Julie, you may have to unmute yourself. That's where you scroll your. Well, I can unmute you if you wish. Let me see if I can unmute her.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you're unmuted now. We can hear you. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So Julie, she's going to be talking about file conversions. Is that right, Julie? I didn't get time to talk to you before the show. So we got file conversions. So I'm gonna let you take the show. We're going to monitor questions, and we'll see what you're talking about with all these file conversions.
Okay, well, file conversions is a big techie term, and it involves all these little 3-letter things that nobody knows what they mean. But it's really important to Cutter users to understand some of these things that I'm going to go over. You might, practically speaking, this means, well, I have a Silhouette Cameo, and but I just bought an Explorer. How do I get my Cameo files to the Explorer? Or I just bought a View, and how do I get my Make the Cut files to the View? This is called file conversions. And more commonly, I have designers who want to share their files. They made files that they want to share either for free or they want to sell them, and they want to know, how do I make my files available for other people with all the different cutters? So that's what I'm going to talk about. So if you have specific questions that I don't cover, you can type those questions in and we'll try to go over that. So.
And also in your Yahoo group, you have help files that will help you along with some of the file conversions, right?
Right. What I did was I have a tutorial that summarizes all the different file formats used by the different cutters in the crafting community. By no means am I covering every single cutter in the world, but because there are hundreds. But in the crafting community, we have a number that are very popular and common. So in my Yahoo group, I'll take you there right now. I have at MTC Tuts in the files section. If you click on files, you have to join this group to access the files.
Hey, Julie, we're not seeing any screen on yours if you're trying to show us a screen.
How do I show my screen?
You go back to our Hangout that we're in, and you'll move your mouse, and you'll look for the little green screen with an arrow on it. And Michelle's posting.
Green screen.
Yeah, on the left-hand side, Julie.
Yeah, on the left-hand side, you'll see a little screen with an arrow.
It's the second icon.
Yep.
Okay.
So click on that, and then choose the entire desktop, I guess.
The entire screen.
Yep.
And share.
All right. I
so
see
you
myself.
see my screen? Oh, okay.
Yep, I can see your screen.
So we go to the MTC Tuts Yahoo group. This is a free group that you can join by either sending me an email and asking me to send you a request, or you can just go to this site or search for MTC Tuts and request to join. If you click on Files near the top of the page, it'll take you to a whole bunch of files. There's about 2,000 pages worth of tutorials in here, but we're just going to talk about this one file called File Conversion Techniques. And when I go to that folder, the first document is File Conversion Reference. So I'll just open it up to show you what's there. So you don't have to remember everything that I say tonight. What this document has is the names of the different software programs that different cutters use, and there are several pages of these. And then the next column, it tells you which type of files are supported by that software, whether you import them, whether you save them, open, or export. Some cutters allow you to import files, but they don't allow you to export files except in their own format. So I've made a list of all these, then a list of where you can download the software and whether it's free or how much it costs, and then which cutters are supported by that particular software are over on the right side. Some software only supports one cutter. Other software supports many cutters. So I'm not going to go over this entire list because it would be very confusing to a lot of people. But if you're interested, let's say, in the new Pazel's View software, you can come here to this list and you can see, okay, it opens WPC, SVG, and PVG files, and it saves as PVG or SVG. Well, let's suppose you went all over the internet to download free cutting files, but they were in a format that's not listed here. What do? That's what I want to talk about tonight, and changing files from one format to another that works on the cutter of your choice. So there are all different cutter softwares, and there's all different cutters. Then the second part, the last part of this list, is the different file types, which software opens them, what you can do with them, and some extra notes. So this is a good reference if you've gathered files from the internet. Let's say that you got a bunch of, there are thousands and thousands of free files in GSD format that are cutting files. Because 10 years ago, we mostly had WPC and GSD files circulating. Well, you don't see GSD files much anymore. but you could still download thousands of these. I have links where you can find those for free. But how do you use them in your cutter software? That's what I've listed here, how to find the software that will open up all those free cutting files. Same with the WPC. I've been using WPC files for 10 years. So I have huge collections of both of those, and there's a huge amount of cutting files available for free if you know how to open them and how to use them.
In 2010, I remember getting tons of email support questions. They're like, hey, how can we get a GSD to SVG? And before we had to use like a virtual printer in order to use it. Now it's so much easier just to use Make the Cut, right?
It sure is, and that's why I love Make the Cut. I don't have to do very much. I'll show you. I have some favorite designers that I volunteer to do their file conversions for. So some of these professional designers that sell their designs, they spend their time
in Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah, they create all these beautiful files, but they don't have time to sit there and convert them to all the formats that all their customers are asking for. So I wrote to them and volunteered to help them convert their files. So I've been doing that probably for 8 or 9 years. So it's second nature to me. But I thought since we've been using Make the Cut, and especially in the last couple years, Make the Cut has made that conversion process so smooth and streamlined that it takes very little time anymore. So I thought that I would maybe take a file that I made and show you how I get it into some of the popular software. For example, you can see my icons down here. Can you see these?
Oh yeah, we can.
This is Click and Cut. This is Silhouette Studio. This is Sure Cuts a Lot. Pazel's InView software, Pazel's Pro software, Make the Cut. And today most of our software is moving towards accepting SVG files. So I'll show you why I use Make the Cut for these conversions. So I'll go to Make the Cut first. And if you have any questions that I don't cover, feel free to answer. Here's a file that I have in Make the Cut that has been talked about a lot this week. This is a split monogram file that has every letter of the alphabet split already. Created from the Regal font, which was a font that was designed for printing, not for cutting. And we found when we started cutting it, we had problems because there are all kinds of loopy-loop things. So a group of us from the Make the Cut forum fixed all these letters to get rid of all the cutting problems. And then I went through and I made these split monograms. This is a free file download from the Make the Cut gallery. You can access the gallery at the top center of the screen. It looks like a tic-tac-toe. And one reason that I think everybody should consider purchasing Make the Cut, even if only for file conversions, even if you never cut from it, is because when you go into this gallery and you just do a general search, click on search, you find out that there are 11,344 files posted in this gallery, and these are free user-contributed files that you have access to. That's a huge amount of files that when I'm looking for something to cut for a project, I go to the gallery and Make the Cut first. You'll also notice in this software that these are pages. Each page can have a different design in it, but it is all one file. So I can close it and that's all gone. But by opening that one file, I got access to all those. Well, I wanted to show you in the gallery that you can download this file right from the gallery. So you just search for split monograms and then search, and it'll take you it should take you to, if you don't spell it wrong, it'll take you to that, and you just click on download, and you get that whole collection for free. Well, some people have been asking, especially at the Cricut Facebook pages, well, they want to try to make this in their Design Space software, and they're really having a lot of trouble. And probably the main reason they're having the trouble is that they're trying to use the original font that is full of flaws. Makes your cutter go crazy trying to do loop-de-loops. And so in order to get this into Design Space, I would just select it all. Now, if you have purchased Make the Cut, you can do this. If you haven't purchased it, you can still download it for free and play with it. But if you haven't purchased it, you can't export. But if you have, you go to File, and you go to Export, and you go to Selection to SVG file. So whatever you've selected is going to be made into a file. So what I did is just save it to my desktop and give it a file name. So I'll call this Split Monogram A and save. Now if I want to take that into Design Space, I have to go to Design Space. Oh, well, I think that I closed it. Oh, here it is, right here. I'll erase it. And in order to get it in to Design Space, you click on Upload Image on the left side of the screen, and a vector upload. A vector means that the design is made of lines and curves, as opposed to a picture or raster file that has pixels and squares and dots, but no lines. So I'm going to browse. I'm going to go to my desktop where I saved that file, which I called, what did I call it? I called it Split
Monogram.
Monogram A. So they're in alphabetical order. That's my biggest problem, is trying to remember file names. There it is. So I click that to select it, click on Open, and it shows right up. Isn't that amazing? So I click on Save Image. It already assigns the file name to it. I click on the A to get the check mark, and then Insert Image. Now, I've learned something today that's very important, and that is Cricut Design Space was not made for my Windows 7 Pro, because it does not work like this on my Windows 7. But right now I'm running Windows 8.1 on a cheap laptop, and Design Space is working very, very well. Even with all of these programs open, I am amazed, because I haven't been able to do much with the software because of limitations in my Windows 7. But there it is, ready for you to type in whatever name you want and whatever you want on the bottom. I made some really nice gifts with these for anniversaries and weddings recently, and everybody just loves them. And one lady came to my house last week and said, "Oh, I want one. It's my 50th anniversary." So we made her one. So this is what I call a file conversion. We just converted an SVG file to Cricut Design Space. That's one. Any questions on that one?
No, but Jana over here, she says, let me pull it up here. She says, boy, that looks like good weeding practice with the Regal font. And then Pam Connor here, she just wants to reiterate that she would not take anything for her Make the Cut software. If you were to only use it for file conversions, it's well worth the price. But it has many other great features like tracing, and that's like a bonus.
That's for sure. You know, the Make the Cut tracing is the best that I've ever found. Now, this is only part.
It's better than Inkscape.
It's better
than Adobe Illustrator.
It is better than Illustrator Live Trace. It's better than Corel Draw. It's better. I have purchased special conversion software. I've used everything that anybody ever recommended, and Make the Cut has the best trace of any of them. Well worth, for me, the price. Not only does it give me really nice traces, but it gives me options, many options. If I get something that's really hard to trace, I love doing the color trace. Now I'll tell you something from Cricut Design Space that they're having a problem with. They were trying to make this letter using the new slice tool, and they were having problems. The biggest problem was that you cannot save your file or retrieve it after you've saved it if you use the slice feature, meaning that if I went to all the hours of work it would take in the Cricut Design Space to create this file from the Regal font, and I went up to File and Save As here, and I gave it a name. I would call this, well, I might call it something. Okay. Split Monogram A. Now, since I didn't use that slice tool, this will save, and I'll be able to retrieve it later. But if I used only what was in Cricut Design Space to make that, and I went to go get this file tomorrow, it would not be there. So there's something that I could do to prevent my total loss of all that work, all my hard work. I would use the Windows snipping tool, which I have no idea where it is on this computer, and I would just drag around this, and I would save this and then trace it and Make the Cut, so that at least I would have a backup of all my work.
But if you would Make the Cut, you'd already have the SVG.
Yeah, that's just an example, okay.
Okay.
But that is true. If you own Make the Cut, you already own all of this. And if you don't own Make the Cut, I went through last week and I exported every single one of these letters as an SVG file. And you can, for free, there's no charge, you can go to my Yahoo group, this one, and you can go into the shared, under files, you can go into the shared MTC files, and there it is, Regal Split Monogram SVGs. They're all zipped up into one file. If you download that, you can get all the SVGs. And not only can you import that into Cricut Design Space, as I just showed you, but you can import it into the Pazzles Pro software, either 2010 or 2014. You could import it into the Pazzles new InView software. You can import it into SureCuts-A-Lot. You can import it into the eCal software. You can import it into Silhouette Studio Designer Edition, and you can import it into Inkscape. There's very few programs that you cannot import it into. For example, you cannot import it into Silhouette Studio, the basic version, and you cannot import it into the old Inspiration software unless you have the Pro. Let's see, SVGs. I'm just going to look at my own reference here, see where else.
Handmade Cards had a question for you. She said, more information, please, Julie, with Windows 7 Pro and Design Space. You said that they don't work together, or what was the issue?
I'm saying they don't work for me. It takes hours to do. No, I'm exaggerating. I'll give you a real accurate description. I made a video the other day of doing just a simple little file breaking a font character into 3 different colors, and I did it in Design Space, and it took 29 minutes to make that video. I mean, the video is 29 minutes of me trying to break that font. Now, it takes me 2 minutes in Make the Cut. I'll show you.
Sounds like you need Ken's editing skills then.
Well, really,
no, I'm just joking. You shouldn't have to wait. Right?
If I go to Text and Fonts here, and I type in a G, I'm going to just do it because who wants to watch a video that's 29 minutes? Oh, I'm on the wrong computer. I forget. This is Windows 8. If you go to Font, we'll go there. Because this is important. That's a very good question. If I can get there. Font's a great place to get fonts without getting malware. It's not a good idea to search for fonts all over the internet because you will ruin your computer.
That's my favorite.
So if we go to Dingbats and Animals at Font, and we just we can look for Garanimals, G-A-R-A-N-A-M-A-L-S, and we get, where did it go? It was there the other day because I found it. We'll go to Dingbat Animals again. You can take any of these fonts. That's what they call a Dingbat font. I think Ken, wasn't it Ken? You just did a video on this?
It was Christopher Allen Designs.
Christopher did it. I watched your video. Good job.
Oh, thank you. It was a lot of fun, and it's going to save us a lot of money on those big stamps.
Yeah, and you know what? I just ordered all those pens, so it's perfect timing.
Oh, did you?
Embossing pens. So I'm ready to go.
Did you watch episode 1 of his
Here's
his
a
Halloween video?
Garanimals. Did I watch this? I watched all his videos. You guys all learned a lot from me.
Yeah.
Click on this download.
She liked your background music there, Christopher.
Some people think that I'm smart, but I'm not. I just watch a lot of videos and read a lot of mails. So I just downloaded this font, and I'm going to double click and click on install. So you're getting a lesson here. And it'll probably take me less time to do all this downloading and the demo that took me 29 minutes to do. I don't know if that's installed or not.
She said she saw your video and she said it was long.
It was way too long, especially when it only took 2 minutes to do and make the cut. Okay, I don't know if it installed or not for Animals. We have this neat thing in the Make the Cut software that you can, if I actually downloaded it and if I could find it,
where you can temporarily install.
You can install permanently inside of Make the Cut if you click this box. If you don't click this box, it'll install temporarily, so it'll actually install. Now, I don't see that it installed here. So I might just bypass this. I'm
wondering if you have to reboot Make the Cut in order to have it.
Well, probably, but I don't even show it. It doesn't
even
show in my downloads. So, not knowing this computer, I'm thinking I don't even know where the downloads go.
Oh, look, it looks like it's still zipped, which is why.
I mean, I may add that is this not an automatic process in Make the Cut?
And it automatically will pick up any file that you install in your Windows system.
Okay.
Oh, there's extract. I
just,
didn't extract.
I'm just confused as to what is this step that's happening right now.
Right now, I'm trying to just download a font to my computer.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like what? Like right now, once the font is in, you're saying that you can put something in temporarily, or I guess I'm confused about
Yes, I can put. Oh, I think I've got it now. I'm going to put it on my desktop. Oh, see, you guys just learn from my fumbling in Windows 8. I don't fumble like this on my own computer, but this is my son's.
I mean, I'll add to the font thing, but typically when you install a font, and if you have too many, it takes that program a little longer to search through all those fonts, which is why you may want to temporarily install the font, because you're only going to use it for one project. Temporarily install it, and then once you close out and make the cut, it won't recognize it the next time you boot it up.
So what I'm going to do
which is why you have a temporary.
Is I just put it on my desktop. I did not install it. Okay, and that's the important thing, because when we get into MakeCut, we don't have to install it in our system to slow it down. We can actually click on it, click on Install Permanently inside MakeCut, and click on Open, and it will be right there. Now if I click on the T, I type E for the letter E, because that's the elephant I wanted to do. If you saw my other video, you'll understand why I get so frustrated with Design Space, because I just broke it apart, clicked this, sent it to its own layer, changed the color to gray, hide it, click on each of the ears holding Shift, send to its own layer and make that pink, hide that one, select all the rest, join, make that lavender, then show everything, move the fatter thing down to the bottom, and on the virtual mat look at it in contrast, and now I have a lovely design. Now I'm just going to go to File, Export as SVG, and I can use it as my layered paper piecing. And I've got it saved as an SVG. I can save it. Now this is where the file conversion comes in. Again, I can save as MakeCut file. That's elephant. So I'll save that to my desktop. Now, if I wanted to get that to cut to, right now, let's say the new View software doesn't cut from MakeCut. If I go to Cut Projects With, you can see I can cut this to a black cat. I could cut it to my Craftwell, my eCraft. I could cut it to my Gazelle. I could cut it to Click and Cut series, which also cuts to my Pazzles Pro. I can cut to the Pazzles Inspiration. I can cut to my Silhouette Cameo. I can cut to my Craft Robo. I can cut to my Wishblade. I can cut to my Zing. And if I use my older software, I can actually cut to my Expression or my Cricut Cake. So I can, I don't really have to convert anything anymore like I used to, because except I do have an eClips. So if I want to cut to eClips, I got to take it into SureCuts-A-Lot, their version for eClips, which is called eCal. I didn't install that, but all I do is I go to File, Import, and I'm going to go find that SVG on my desktop. Oops, I passed it up. Desktop. And there it is, that paper piecing, and it came right in. Now, this is another reason I love MakeCut, because it retains the size of everything, it retains the groups, it retains the color. The SVG files do not retain any texture or pictures that you might have used for background, but it does retain the integrity of the file. So I believe I don't usually use this software, but once you ungroup, I think you end up with layers in here. I don't know where the layers are. I don't usually have to go that far with my conversions, but that's how I would get it to my eClips. And
oh, hey,
then,
Julie.
what?
I did notice that Make the Cut, because I was looking at SVG files, trying to figure out the code and stuff. Make the Cut will retain, well, for me anyway, it did retain the background. So if you have a texture, it will retain it. But Sure Cuts Lot won't, for some reason, when you export an SVG from Sure Cuts Lot and you add a background to it, it does not retain. I was able to open it up in Inkscape just fine with the texture. I don't know, have you tested that?
That is true. Most of the other
Okay.
software will not retain the texture. The View software will allow you to bring in, again, import the SVG, and let's say I want to bring in this, oh, that's a PVG. I'll go to my desktop. I feel really handicapped.
While you're doing that, Jacqueline, she wants to know, or Jacqueline, she wants to know, do you have a blog, or is it just your Yahoo group?
I only have a Yahoo group. I don't have a blog. Somebody made one for me once, and I can't even find it. So,
well, if you want, Christopher Allen can make you one if you need one. Teresa, she also asked. Teresa asks you, Julie, do you use a USB hub to cut with your cutters?
I have learned that cutters don't like USB hubs very well unless they're self-powered.
Yeah.
And I have two Belkin self-powered hubs that I one time used to have to use for all the security keys for all these software programs, and I hate those security keys. I lose them all the time and they break and quit working, and so now I use software that doesn't require security keys, so I don't use the hubs much for. I do use a hub. I use them for my mouse and my printer connection and some other things that need USB, but the cutters I have to plug into the back port of my computer, my desktop computer. For the laptops, they won't drive. They don't have enough power to do a little hub that isn't plugged into electricity. So this is again that same design. It retained its size, it retained its color, it retained its groups. If I deselect this, this is a, for those using the View, I would want to make sure that there are line colors in this software. So I don't usually use the View software for conversion for Pazzles owners. I usually use the Pazzles Pro software, and the reason is when I bring it in, I'll bring it in that same SVG, and even if somebody gives me an SVG to make into all the other files, I always take it in to make the cut first. I'll take it in to make the cut because I know that when I export that file, I retain all the score lines as score lines. They're not solid lines, and I can change the colors. So this is the Inspiration Studio. What I do when I bring it in here, I'll show you on this. I select it, and then I click on this tiny little arrow here, and I select Brush Color to Pen Color. And it changes all of the black lines to now match the fill color. What I like about taking stuff in to make the cut, let's do the reverse. My friends, they want me to make them WPC files, so I take this into the Pro software, and I would take this file here. This is what I mean by conversions. I go to File, Export, and I'm going to export this as elephant, and to select the file type as AI or Illustrator. Now the reason I do it here and not in Make the Cut is that Make the Cut creates AI version 9 or higher, and these older softwares like K&K and Pazzles, they will only use Illustrator version 8 or lower. Pazzles makes the Illustrator 8 version that will work both in the Click and Cut, and it will also work in Pazzle software. Then I export it again. This time I select WPC 10. That's the oldest version of the software that Pazzles ever used. Layered paper piecing. And I'm going to do this as a WPC. So just by taking it from Make the Cut into Pazzles Pro, I've now got a WPC file, and I've got a AI file, I've got a Make the Cut MTC, and I've got SVG already. And usually I only need, see, the SVG can work with Silhouette Studio Designer Edition, but if you want a file that goes into the basic edition, you have to get a DXF file. Now, Hazel software will export as a DXF. You go to File, Export, and select DXF, but I will never recommend this because that DXF file is a very bad file that will just make a mess out of any place that you put it, because it breaks it up into tiny segments.
So what program would you use for DXF?
Well,
if someone needed DXF.
I use Illustrator because it gives me the cleanest, the best, the smallest size DXF, but Illustrator is expensive, and most people don't want to do that. So you would have to show me how you do it in Inkscape now, because I tried the other day to get one of these and make a DXF, and it wouldn't work. So I'm doing something wrong with the latest version of Inkscape. So I haven't got a cheap.
Yeah, ScrappyDew, like when we first came out, we were trying to, we were trying to appease everybody of coming out with the various files. Everyone's like, hey, do you have a WPC? And I was like, I don't know, I don't even know how to create that. And then finally someone gave me instructions, and it's very, very specific, just like you said, for WPC. And then people were wanting K&K, and to this day, I guess you'd have to own the actual K&K software in order to produce the K&K, and I thought the software was pricey. I don't know. Is it still pricey?
I think it's pricey. I bought 2 different versions of it, and it's also very outdated. I don't think that even K&K is using it much anymore. They're using Make the Cut a lot, but let me load this up for you and show you.
Yeah, Vicky, she asked, she's like, are there any K&K users out there? I've been reading a lot about them. They seem pretty interesting. I've only used Cricut Expression and my older version of Make the Cut software.
Well, I have the K&K Zing, and I cut to it from Make the Cut. I don't cut to it from the K&K software. But when I go there, I went to load this up today in my software and in this other computer that I'm using, and my security key will not work. Figures, right? So, but I can open it, and this is what you can do even if you don't have a security key. If you can get it open. I have 2 of them open for some reason. I have the GE and I have the other studio. Let's say I'll just make a quick shape in here, like this. If you select it and Control-C, copy, and you go to Make the Cut, and Control-Shift-V, you got it. So you didn't even have to save it, you didn't have to export it. So if you have the K&K software and you want to convert that file to anything else, bring it in to make the cut. Because K&K software does not have SVG import or export. It will import AI version 8 that we make out of the puzzles. So that's how I make the files. Once you get into K&K, the only changes you have to make in order to make that file compatible is to click on the pin and select this. Looks like a division problem. Select the hairline. It changes the file to lines, the line type, to the kind of line that the K&K cutters can read. And then you just save it, go to File, Save as Click and Cut.
So
but you have to have the software.
Okay. That's what I was going to say. So now you can download the trial. Is there a trial version of the Click?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so you can you download the software with, you said, without a registration key, and you can copy and paste. So if I found a Click K&K file that I liked, I can open it up in this program here.
I don't think
copy
so.
Copy it and paste it. Okay.
I
Gotcha.
don't think you can. I have the files. I have the installation CD. I installed it all.
Okay.
And I it won't recognize this Windows 8 maybe is not recognizing the key. This is such old technology that this is probably I've had for 7 years. So maybe that's why the key doesn't work. But you know, it's no good. It's useless without the key. Because let me show you what happens. I go to File, Save As, and it says possible error with a license. No security key. And then it just gives you, it just closes down. And if you don't have a security key, it just won't work. So even though oh, look at that. It says save as K&K. It's letting me do it. So, but it wouldn't let me edit any more than what I just did, draw a square.
I see.
So, what's really nice is if you have Illustrator or Inkscape or Click and Cut software, you can do the same thing. You can copy the design from your screen, and you can use Control-Shift-V to paste in place and make the cut, or go to Edit, Paste in Place, and it'll bring it in. So you don't have to save or export or anything. But for most people who need to have files for the K&K users, they just the AI files that I make from puzzles work perfectly in the Click and Cut. So that's a good fix, and it's quick. The other thing that that designers want is sometimes they want a PDF which people can cut by hand. From Make the Cut, you can go to File, Export, and Selection to Vector PDF, and it'll create a vector PDF for you, which they can put then in their bundled software. So we call this layered paper piecing, and this becomes a PDF file that can be opened in a number of different software packages. Sure Cuts a Lot, eCal, Puzzles Pro, all import PDF files as well. The other thing that we can do that designers want to do, and I just explained all of this to Monica a few weeks ago. You know, the Monica with all the beautiful stuff. I used to do all her file conversions. She does them all now herself. And if I want to, she said, well, I need to make a picture, and I have to go into my photo editing software to make a picture. But here we don't have to do that. We can add a drop shadow, we can add a watermark, whatever we want to make it. I don't have a watermark to add, but you can add a watermark. You can give it a background color. You can put it in a PNG format. Now this is really useful for those softwares that won't allow you to bring in a texture. But if you print to a PNG, you can save your file. You just save your file as a PNG, then you can take it into Design Space and trace it if you wanted to. Of course, the SVGs work, but if you wanted to get all the color, layered elephant, I can't type either. So then I save it as a PNG file. because people want to see a picture. Another thing that we can do is we can select this elephant, and we can click on this design at the bottom that is a circle and triangle, texture snapshot. What that does is it makes it so you can print and cut. So I'll go to outline so you can see it. Excuse me. You see how now there's just cut lines around it? So if you wanted to export just this outline as an SVG, you can. This is how I get my designs into the view software and to Design Space. If I want to bring over the picture itself, I can bring in this snapshot, and I can bring in the SVG. So I print as PNG, then I can bring this in as SVG. So when I export as SVG, export SVG, I get elephant PNG1 or whatever. So now I can take that into either one of those, and I can do a paper piece project and line them up, even if they don't have a good trace, or if the designs won't trace very well. The other reason that I love Make the Cut is, remember I told you about all those thousands, like 7,000 GSD files you can import for free. Make the Cut has a GSD import here. I don't know if I brought over any GSD files. Let me see. But I'll show you where you can find some. How's that? We'll go online and get into the Yahoo group. I'm going to show you where you can find these thousands and thousands of files. That Rob was saying last week how many thousands of SVG files I have. You haven't seen a drop in the bucket. Links. Go to More and Links here. And in this section, I have links to all kinds of free things. But free downloads of cutting files in other formats for WPC, GSD, and AI cutting files. This lady has tons of WPC files, all for free. There's 900 stained glass designs that are, I demonstrated some of those recently. Victoria has more than 1,000 files. I Love Craft Robo has 2,930 GSD files. This lady has MTC files, lots and lots. Here's all SVG files. Alphabet letters in 3D, they're all PDF files. Well, in Make the Cut, we can bring in those PDF files just by clicking on this PDF. If you see blue writing down here, that means that the picture that you're trying to bring in has
Images.
It has images in it. Then what it'll do, if you click on the blue, it'll bring it up here for you to trace. So you can bring in GSD files. Let's see what other. I want to show you this one place. You got to go there. Hope you don't crash the guy. People get upset because I tell all my friends in my group that, well, go get all these free files, and then they crash the server. Here it is, free GSD Wishblade files. The site that has the most is the French site. Oh, Judy has some here. She puts hers up in WPC, GSD, and SVG. And where's the French site? Gotta find it. GraphTech has free GSD files that are print and cut. And where is the French? Oh, here it is. 7,500 free cutting files. They started in GSD, so I'd say at least 5,000 of these are GSD files. There's just a few in SVG and a few in EPS, and they have JPEG pictures for all of them. So if you don't speak French, like I don't, you can still go in here and you can grab their files. So these are their latest editions. I don't have any of these yet. So you can go to their GSDs and just go through all of them. You can start with number 1 and go through 7,000 animals. I don't read French, but you can save the picture. Just right click, save image as, and just save it to your desktop. And go to this one. This one is a studio file. This is a GSD file. You do save link as. So I'll save this to my desktop. And now I'll go back to Make the Cut. And what Make the Cut does so beautifully is it puts together all those broken GSD files, which is kind of why people don't use them anymore. It didn't. I don't see where it went.
I think it went to your. Did it go to your download folder?
Yeah, a lot of times, if you can't figure out where they went, you can always go back and try another download. So I'll do this one. Baline. Oh, Baline. Right click, save link as, and I'll put it to my desktop this time. Now, going to Make the Cut. It should be there. I thought I did that before too. Don't want to belabor this point. So they do have the DXX version of the same ones, so these could go into Silhouette Studio. In fact, let me download that one. DXF is not a very reliable format because some of them were created in lame programs like MTC Sign. And so if you wanted to get that DXF file into Silhouette Studio, you would come to Open, and then you would click down here, File Type, and you would select DXF. And Monica actually creates her files in AutoCAD, which creates a DXF. But a lot of software won't bring it in very well. So let me open. I wonder if those files are zipped. Maybe that's why I can't see them. Down to DXF. They're just not showing up. And that's another really important consideration. I'll show you how I export a file from Silhouette Studio, because that's a big question I get every week. Now, if you want my instructions for this, you're going to have to write to me to get the instructions, because I pulled them off my MTC Tuts. So if I go to my library and say I want a box, and I want this box. These are files I purchased, so they belong to me, well, to use. I'm using the software that came with my Cameo. It's version 2.0, and I haven't upgraded it. So I just go to Save As, and I type in .svg and give it a name, box SVG, and put it on my desktop. And now I can go to Make the Cut, have a new project, and then click on SVG, click on Box, And it takes a second to process, and then it's all there, ready to go.
Now, this technique only works with 2.0, or is it with any?
It works with 1.9 and 2.0 Designer Edition.
Okay, now I also
Make
heard
sure
that
it's working.
Windows only or Mac?
It does not work with Mac.
Okay.
If you go to About Silhouette Studio, it has to say right here 2.0.0D or 1.9.0D in order for this to work. Otherwise, you have to.
And is this the Designer Edition, or is this the one that just came with the?
This is Designer Edition. I bought the Designer Edition. If you don't have that, all you do is select all, Control A. I demonstrated this, I believe, last week, and I made some videos. So I have a YouTube channel where I put a number of videos on SVGs and conversions. So once you're all selected, you can just fill them with black, and you can make the line color black. And then you can do a screen capture with your Windows snipping tool or whatever you use for capturing that. You could make it really small so that it's all on the background. Let me make it really small. That way it's on a, because since these are, if it's going to be a vector, you could print a PDF or you can do a screen capture. PDF is actually more accurate. So if you're like me and you purchased 9,000 files from the Silhouette store, but your Cameo broke and now you have all these files but you can't cut them to your Cameo, well, you can print to PDF, which I'm not even sure I have on this computer. This is not mine. Let's see, print. No, I don't have
got the basics right there.
Yeah, just the basics.
Printer.
So what I would do is I would do a screen capture. How do you do that with this Windows key? Oops,
if there's a search. Usually I click the lower left and there's a search.
Right here?
Yeah, but I'm really not that familiar. Maybe that little magnifying
There's
glass?
a little arrow up above the scroll bar, Julie.
Okay. Right
on
there.
this?
Wait, yeah, the little arrow, click that. Okay, and then go to your apps and then go all the way over to...
Or you may be able to type snip and maybe it's in there. That's what I always do. I type in snip.
I tell you what, Windows 8 just, you know...
Hey, a lot of people complain about this, and I want my old Windows back.
I can't figure it out. Yeah, so I would just do my Windows snipping tool, and then there is a, what is the screen capture? Print screen. I'll do a print screen. Do you have to press another key? Let's see if the print screen worked. And then go to trace, pixel trace. I think print screen might be working because I've got all these programs are running. I just thought I would tax it, you know, to the max. If you click on paste, look at that. Okay, I'll show you the trick. You hold down the control key and you drag around just the portion of the design that you want. Let go. And I think I'll resample it 5 times and apply changes. So only that's going to be imported. So let's see what it does. All right. What do you think of that, huh? Now I'll just break it apart and I have all the pieces. I can resize it to the same size as it was in Silhouette Studio. If I undo back to where it was.
I just think you lost the score lines though. I don't know. Did they have any? I thought I saw score lines on the SVG that you.
Yeah, I was going to look here to see.
Yeah, there was score lines on there.
Yeah, so I think because you have it all black.
Black right here. Well, let me zoom in. I'll just type 4 and 3, and there are score lines. And you know what you can do? You can click on the wrench tool, which is here, and go to thin paths and create straight lines. What I usually do if I don't like how, if I join these, you'll see what those lines look like. they're kind of ugly. So I usually just go over here, add a new layer, and I just click here and click, right click here, and now I can hide that, but I can get rid of this, show this, and if I want to use my scoring tool, I can use that, or if I want to make them dashed, I've got that, and I should have, yeah, those are pretty thin lines there.
Nice. All right, so you had version 2.0 on that computer. If you upgrade, because Pam Connor here, she says I understand that if you upgrade to version 3, you'll lose that ability from version 1.9 and 2.0 to save as an SVG. Is there, well, I guess my sort of question is, what she has done is she has one computer dedicated to 1.9, 2.0, and then she has another computer where she uses the latest version. I guess my question would be, is there any way to have 2 installations of Silhouette Studio on the same computer that will give you that ability to save as an SVG still? Do you know?
Yes, I know. I have 3 versions on my Windows 7 Pro, and all of them work, with the Designer Edition. There's a trick to doing that, and if you want that trick, you can write to me and I'll send it to you. Because I don't have it on this computer, I can't show you, and I can't. What it involves is you have to uninstall all of them. Then you have to install the oldest version first and rename its folder and its exe file to something else. And then you can install 2.9 if you like to use that one. If you don't need to use it, you don't have to. But then if you want to install and change the file name, the exe file, and change the folder, and then you can install version 3, you know, the most recent, and let that one be the one that updates. What I do for my older versions is I go into Preferences at the bottom of the File menu, and for check for updates, I tell it never, because I don't want this ever overwritten. I don't use the software for anything else. I cut to my Cameo from Make the Cut. Mm-hmm. But I use this almost exclusively for converting. So if I had to choose only one version, I would choose the 1.9 or 2.0, because, you know, I buy my files from them and then I cut them from Make the Cut because I prefer using Make the Cut. But there is a way. Now, what happens if you don't do this little trick and you install the Designer Edition for version 2 or 1.9, but then you install and you open version 3, the Designer Edition migrates to 3 and you lose it from your older versions. What you have to do is protect your license file so it can't be overwritten. It's one file, and it works in all 3 versions now for me. But if you want the specific steps to do that, you'll need to write to me. So I don't know if you want to put my address, my email address, craftymusician@comcast.net.
I'll stick it in there.
Okay. So I don't know if you need me to show you anything else, but my bottom line here is that you can, if you have Make the Cut, I don't know if you can get the picture of why I like Make the Cut so much, because it does all of my converting tasks for me. It does the best trace, just like it did this. You know, it just simplifies my life. It has a huge library of cutting files that are free with it, which is worth the price, and it converts to almost every file format that you would need. It imports. I was going to tell you on the GSD files, not only does it, GSD files and WPC files have line colors in their native formats because those software cut by line color, not by layers. And Make the Cut converts those line colors to fills, color fills, and it maintains all the layers, all the groups, and puts each group into its own layer, and each color group into its own layer automatically. It is an amazing task. When Andy did that, I was flabbergasted because the GSD files were made out of, many of them, of broken DXF files, and many of them will not load into the studio software anymore. They're just kind of lost. But if you can get them to load into Inkscape or Make the Cut, then you have some really nice files. And the same with the WPCs. They're converted into color layers. They're grouped, but if you go over here to clipboard trays, for example, and you select to each its own, it puts everything in its own layer. I wish Design Studio had the option to, let's say, select all the light colors or the light designs by holding Shift and just sending them all to the same layer, so you didn't have to have millions of layers. You can just, when you click on their icons or select it over here, I think Design Space does that. But then everything that I've selected, I can kind of just send to its own layer and get rid of the empty ones. And there's a lot of things I really like about it. I can do curved text. I can do engraving. You could watch the, I did 4 demos Tuesday night, and the recording at the webinar, the Make the Cut webinar, has been posted. So I did 4 demos, one on how to create that engraved flower that I posted at the Cricut Facebook page, how I created it in Make the Cut software just using a simple duplicate nested feature. And then I use the Cricut embossing tool to emboss aluminum tape. And it was beautiful. So, and then how to make that other file that you see here, just quick and simple. And I don't know if I showed how to do the elephant or not. I think I did. Mm-hmm. And so it just makes my designing life a whole lot more efficient. Then I can share it with everybody, and I don't sell any files. So if you want the take advantage of all the tutorials that I've made, it took me many years to create this. I can't get up here. It took me many years to create this collection of information that is in here, but it's all free. And it's all to help you learn how to use Make the Cut. So we have tutorials starting with introductory, basic, intermediate, and advanced. And every lesson is project-based, so you're creating a project of some kind. Then I have a whole folder of free files. You can have this.
Yeah, we put Julie's Yahoo group information in the description, so you can click there, and I think you approve it, or is it automatic approval?
No, I approve it. I don't let any junk in our group, so there's no spam, okay. no garbage, because I have to approve every message. That's just for everybody's safety.
And then Michelle, she's posted Julie's email, so at craftymusician@comcast.net. My screen showing the full email, but craftymusician@comcast.net. If you guys want anything emailed to you of any of the instructions, but she does have stuff in that Yahoo group that she has put together over the years.
Yeah, that group is a great resource.
I mean, everyone's out there to help each other. There's no one selling you stuff. You won't get spam, and plus
we don't allow sales in the group.
You can have a digest version if you don't want to get emailed every time someone has a question. You get a nice little daily digest.
I do post sometimes special deals you don't want to miss, though.
Oh yes.
But
I appreciate that.
I got really tired of every message taking you somewhere to somebody's blog, and having to look for this or that. And I just wanted to have it all in one place in an orderly fashion where there are folders that contain what you're looking for and where I could find it. If you ask me for something, I can tell you where it is.
Yeah. Make the cut stuff. We'll bring up Sandra here. She says, yeah, you never have to pay for an upgrade either. It's always free. Yeah, so it's a one time. I think right now the sale is around $58, $59 using the coupon code.
It's $58.36, I believe, but you can use my link to get there and see what you. You can try it out. That's the neatest thing is you just try it out, and if you don't like it, that's fine.
Yep, try before you buy it. The only thing you can't do is like you can't export, you can't cut, or I guess you can cut. It will put slashes in your designs. Stuff I wanted to clear up. I think Vicky Woody she asked Ken and Christopher this question. She said, "Do you use and make the cut with your Explorer?" Ken did answer. He answered in the event hangout, but for you guys watching on YouTube, it does not interact directly with your Explorer. Okay, so like Julie said, you would take the file for Make the Cut, export it as an SVG, and then use Design Space as the vector upload. So.
And that's what I do. So I go to Cricut.com. I create my design. I go to Design Space and make sure I'm signed in. When I create my design and make the cut, especially because I cannot use my computer to design in the software, it just won't work for me. But I can go to Upload Images and upload all of my files. So I just made this one today, and I taught this on the webinar Tuesday night, and it just took a couple minutes to make the cut, and now I've got it in Cricut Design Space, and I cut it to my Explorer. It's just that simple.
Yep, simple upload.
Yeah, and the designs come in quite well. I did my first cuts on my new Imagine. Now, can you imagine why I got an Imagine? I bet Ken and Christopher know.
Printing?
No, I didn't. I got it to make a doorstop. But I got it so I could have all those free Imagine files in Cricut Design Studio. But then I started playing with this Imagine. It's not half bad. This one works fine. But I would have never paid $500 for one. I don't know how much they sold for, but I thought, well, I have it, might as well play.
Jacqueline Perry, she wants to know what's your YouTube name. Maybe you can pass it to Michelle. Or maybe Michelle knows, she can add it to the group chat.
I think it's just Julie.
I'll add it to the group.
I have two of them. One's Julie Flanagan, and that's where the SVG files are. YouTube. I don't know if this computer will be smart enough to find me. I'll just type my name in. My other computer just takes me to my... Oops, I have to spell my name right. There I am. There's my channel.
There you go. And there's your latest 29-minute video.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
It is. Well, it says 1609. It's disgusting.
Ken must have edited it for you.
And then all of these, this is how to save the gallery files from Make the Cut to SVG. This one is the webinar from ScrappyDew on the View. This is how to use stained glass car designs in Make the Cut. This one is how to convert all those 7,500 GSD files to WPC, MTC, or SVG. Kind of what we covered tonight. And then from coloring page to paper piecing, how to make nice boxes from the generate your own automatic custom boxes and bags and things. This is Studio to SVG, so if you want to know how I do the conversion from Silhouette Studio to SVG, there's a series, 2 or 3 videos on different methods. So I don't have a lot of videos. My desktop crashes whenever I try to watch a YouTube, and whenever I try to go to a Hangout. So when I can do a nice short one, I'll post them. So, any other questions?
Not seeing any. I know Michelle, she just posted your YouTube channel on the event page, so yeah, check out the event page. I mean, of course, this thing you're not going to be able to read, all you guys viewing, but on the event page, she has the link for Julie, and we'll post it in the description as well after the show. Yeah, I'm not seeing any more questions. Before we do end up signing off, I did want to show you what I'm working on next with the SVG Library, because Michelle came up with a good little tool, and then I added it real quick. About 20 minutes of a little code, and we'll take a look at it. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So hopefully you guys can see this. You guys can all see it, right? Ken, Michelle, everyone. You guys can see it.
Yep.
Yes.
I can see it.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so right now we have a folder list, okay, and we also, when we went to view, we have the common tags. And Michelle said, wouldn't it be nice for this folder list to be almost like a tag list right here? And it will show you how many files you have based off that tag. So that's what I did. If we go to view, we have a tag list, or you can hit Command 6, and this goes through your entire tags, everything that you have tagged so far, and put them in nice little groups. So like this one right here, ScrappyDew Vault. If you click this, every single thing that is tagged ScrappyDew Vault will show up here, or nested mats. So that's going to be a new one coming out. Should be version 1.3.1, hopefully, if all testing goes good. It's just a quick little feature. Like I said, we're going to continue to update the program, and once we do, if you purchase, we'll send you an email, let you know, hey, it's time to update. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop screen sharing and see if there's any more questions. Y'all can come to the Trace of Luck, she said you all can come to the Tuesday night webinar and learn more about Make the Cut. Julie and Susan do lots of tutorials, as well as all their webinars are online. They use Vimeo, and yeah, hours and hours of information. And I think someone still timestamps all those, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys can search for what you want in the video, just like what Michelle does for our Hangouts.
I do send out a note each week to tell you what was covered in the recording.
Okay, yeah. So in the Yahoo group, correct, Julie?
Yes.
Yeah, in the Yahoo group, she'll post it once Brian has uploaded it to Vimeo, then she'll come out with a little email reminder letting you know that she and he have uploaded it and it should be live. All right, going through, seeing if any more questions or comments. Teresa just says, "Good job, Rob." So I guess you'll like that little update. And yeah. All right, so I guess in closing, don't forget to check out the ScrappyDew live archives, and each one of those that you'll see on the side for the hosts, go to a YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Okay. So what you working on this week, Ken? I know you got some stuff coming out. Did you order anything new for these videos?
So yeah, I have a lot of things to get caught up on because I was gone for a while, and so I did. When I was in Maui, there was the 24 or 48, or I don't remember how many hours of crafting on HSN, and one of the things I saw was the Craftwell e-brush. So I got that where you can take any marker, put it into this machine, and it's supposed to kind of turn it into an airbrush. So I got one of those because I kind of want to flirt with that. I had the Color Arts one, had one a while ago. I forget what it was called, but I wasn't too keen with that one, so I got rid of it. It had these little paint pouches, and it was a mess and not good. So I'm hoping this one works really good. And then I also am finally doing my printer review on my wide format printer, and hopefully in a couple weeks I do have the new Silhouette Cameo on order, because I do want to compare it with the Cricut Explorer, since it is a newer upgraded machine, and see how it does. So.
Gotcha. Now, any more coffee videos? Are you gonna try out Folgers?
Oh man, those coffee videos! I tell you what.
I'm surprised on how many people have watched that coffee one.
Keurig. Everyone's upgrading to the Keurig 2.0. It's the new thing. So I actually probably get, I kid you not, 100 subscribers a day from that one video, and it's up to almost 50,000 views, and there is a new video coming because I found some other new features from comments on YouTube, so I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on that, on how you can trick another part to get some features out. So Kurt will probably put me in jail. I don't know. We'll see.
Christopher, what you got going on for your videos? You got 3, 4, and 5 coming out?
Yes, and I'm going to be doing a video on my microwave oven. And I'm going to see if I can get 30 million subscribers. No, I also I'm trying to do a review on my HP printer. Ken and I were kind of going to do that together, but unfortunately Halloween took over. So I'm going to try to get that.
Which is your favorite holiday, by the way, right?
Of all time. I'm going to take kind of some cues from Ken, obviously, because I'm not a big reviewer, as anyone that watches my YouTube channel will know, and Ken kind of has to give me some pointers on what to talk about and things like that, because I just use my printer, so I'll have to figure out exactly what I'm going to talk about and things like that. But at this point right now, we just have the Halloween videos coming out. I'm trying to work on my Spectrum Noir video. I've had a lot of questions about Spectrum Noirs and how to use them. I want to show how to use them also with the writing feature with the Explorer, kind of how I was creating everything with the making stamps, just like the embossed stamps, but using a permanent marker, American Crafts marker, so that you can color those in. So lots of things coming. Obviously, Christmas is coming, so we'll have lots of videos on that, but I'm not even thinking about that yet.
And Michelle, do you have any design team gallery stuff, or what kind of guests are coming up next week as well as the following week?
Yes, next week is going to be Kay from Clever Someday, and she's going to be speaking about fonts for die cutters, also tracing, what it is, why you have to do it, and how it works for various different programs.
All right, cool, good deal.
And the following week is going to be Amy Chamas with her Cricut holders.
All right, yeah. If you guys haven't seen Amy Chamas, she was one of our first guests, so very nice to have her come back, and she's going to show us her new product, okay, for all you Cricut users out there. Yes, so she'll be there to field your questions. Kay will be next week. She's the one that's Kay Hall, if you guys have been following.
She's Kay Clever Someday. She's the best.
Yes.
Yep.
Very knowledgeable. She's wrote a book. Her book's on Amazon.
She doesn't know that, but wow, I learned I read every one of her posts on any group she's in, because
whatever she says, it's very intelligent.
She is an internet sensation.
Yes. So make sure you come out
with Lady Gaga.
Tell your friends to come check us out next week. We'll get to see Kay. But yeah, so are you going to sign off with Christopher Allen's sign off, Ken? He took the
Christopher Allen, I don't know what his sign off is because his music is so loud in the background I can't hear him talking.
Yeah.
I cannot stand you.
Yeah, he got a lot of nice comments about his episode 1 of his Halloween, about his background music.
Yes, I appreciate every comment that I get.
All 29 of them.
Yes.
So all right, guys. Well, like I said, thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Okay. Later.